Hello, my name is Hector Ortiz. I'm part of No Vacancy, and I will be playtesting our game Dragon Seeker once again. So let me get on Perforce. Let me open Dragon Seeker. Let's see. There we go. So first things first, let's work on credits. All right. Back button works. We'll do controls. Our controls, back, options, background music, sound effects. We'll test our camera settings in just a moment. So back. All right, let's begin. I'll do level select later on. All right, first things first. Our options. I know our player still moves around in the background. That is an issue we're trying to fix. Camera sensitivity. Okay, definitely see the difference. Let's head back, controls. There's our controls, back, main menu. Okay, so let's start again. All right. Before I move on, okay, some platforms will begin to descend once you stand on it. Standing on these platforms for a certain amount of time will result in their destruction. Okay. Before I continue, Before I continue, interesting. Oh. Give me 1 second. Let me turn on other window. This way we can quickly go look at the feature list. Okay, so in the ruins level, as a player would like to seek text prompts that explain different aspects of the level that will be presented throughout the game. So basically, a text bubble will appear when the player reaches a certain area, and then it'll disappear if the player leaves or they push the trigger. Of course, the text will remain. Well, it'll disappear once you leave that little area, and it will not reappear, and it will not cover the whole screen. And then once you've seen it, you'll never be able to see it again throughout the level. Of course, you're going to get your sound effects as soon as it appears. And then, let's see. And then the columns. Columns will be large enough for players to successfully land on. Some columns will be different heights to allow players to reach taller columns. Player will not be able to destroy these columns with either attack ability. So we'll test these out in a bit. So let's jump back in. Okay. I did it too quickly. I didn't even get to read it. Something we should probably look into. Maybe use a different button instead of the left click. That is another flock of sheep. Among them is a ram. Once you've closed enough, the ram will charge at you. Use your attack abilities to destroy the ram. And that's that black one. Alright, and these are the columns. Okay, so we cannot break him at all. But I do see we can still reach that dragon statue. You can jump into objects by pressing the spacebar. In front of our gems, collecting 100 gems will give you an extra life. Gliding can come in handy when the next platform is unreachable. By jumping to it to glide, tap the spacebar while mid-jump. While gliding, tap the spacebar again to cancel the glide. These dragon statues serve as checkpoints and are needed for you to progress through the game. Okay. Some objects can be destroyed using your charge attack or flame breath attack. Use a charge attack for these block eggs. Ooh, okay. Once you're close enough, the arch above will fall and damage you if it makes contact with you. Let's see, and it does. Actually, I wanted to test out the spikes again. Okay, perfect. Instantly die. Yep, every time. Sweet. Looks like the columns are working just fine. Oops. All right. And gate works. Got 3 out of 3 statues. Moving on to the next one. But let's quickly check our options. Music works. Sound effects. Camera settings. Now we got controls, main menu. We'll do level select and we'll go to the ruins level first. Perfect. Main menu. Back to the volcano. All right. And quickly before we move on, let's do go back to the task list. All right. So for the volcano level, no, As a player, I want the character's temperature to heat up at all times within the level, and for there to be small areas of reprieve at the dragon statues to cool down. So there's going to be a gouge on the left bottom side. It'll increase every 2 seconds. And then there's little areas you can go into that'll reduce the heat. If the gouge reaches 100, it fills up, the player dies. And once you're out of the certain area of the volcano, you'll no longer be taking heat damage. Let's see. Thermometer will show the UI what's the player temperature. As a player, I want to the next feature. As a player, I want to face an indestructible enemy that acts more like an obstacle. So the enemy will be at the end of a narrow platform shooting projectiles at the player. The enemy's projectiles will be destroyed when impacting walls. The enemy's projectiles will push the player back. The enemy's projectiles will raise the player's temperature gauge if they are hit. The player cannot destroy the enemy. The player cannot destroy the projectiles. The enemy's projectiles will only move towards one direction. Temperature gauge will update if hit by a projectile. Okay, of course it has sound effects. And then the third feature is, as a player, I want to be able to slide down the mountain while dodging enemy attacks. And collecting gems on the way to the next level gate. The character will begin sliding downhill when entering the trigger. The character will slide down at a greater speed than the default running speed. The character will only be able to control going to the left and right. So restrictions: the player can't jump, can't glide, can't charge, will not be able to walk forward or backwards. Camera movement will be disabled. A sign will be at the top stating that this is a point of no return and finish collecting the dragon statues before sliding down. Let's see. Oops. Okay. The next one's level 3. So let's go ahead and play through level 3. There we go. Let us resume. Okay. There's a sign. My temperature area keeps cool at the dragon statues. And our gauge is at the left bottom right, increasing every 2 seconds. Whoa. It's a little narrow in there. Ah. Didn't even notice who's being fired at on that side. Alright. That one was kind of hard to see. Okay. See, our gouge went down when we were in by the statue. These platforms are kind of hard to see. Alright. It's decreasing. Moving on to the next area. Here's that giant turtle. One hit causes the gouge to go up quite a lot. Oh man, it's gonna be a little tougher than I thought. All right. There we go. Oh darn. Oh no. It's kind of hard to dodge all that. Every time. Let's give ourselves a little bit more lives. Oh, looks like we got quite a few errors when we did that. Okay. Let me see if I could just skip all these. Perfect. At least I made it. All right. Time for our gravity lifts. Point of no return. Oh wow. Huh. Let's try that one more time. Maybe I'm missing something. Looks like I have to wait for it to do it twice. Oh wow. Let's just go back up there. Okay, let's try it one more time. There we go. Now we slide. Oh. Much tougher. Alright, and that should be the end of this level. Moving on. And I do see what looks like we're in the swamp this time. Best to stay clear of the water as best as we can. I hear there's monsters in there. I also wouldn't try and eat the mushrooms. They're not good for your health. All right. Really quickly, let's do options. Perfect. All right, everything seems to be working. Controls, back. We'll do main menu. Double select. We'll go back to the swamp. All right. Before I continue, let's review the task list. Okay, in the swamp level, as a player, I want alligator enemies that lurk in the swamp water to provide a sense of urgency. Enemies will pursue the player when the player is in the water and within a certain distance. Enemies will attack the player if the player is within range. Enemy will deal 2 damage to the player. Enemy will pause briefly before returning to its starting position if the player is no longer in the water. Enemies should be indestructible. Enemies will have an emissive material on its spine so the player can see it approaching. Sound effects will play when the enemy attacks the player. As a player, I would like to play a level that has sinking lily pads to provide a greater challenge. Platforms should pause briefly after the player lands on them and then start sinking. Platforms will spring back up once the player leaves the platform. Platforms should not disappear. Sound effects will play when the player lands on the platform. The platform will be visibly start to descend into the water. As a player, I would like to see toxic shrooms in the level to limit my area of movement and provide a greater challenge. If the player enters the area of toxic mushrooms, they will start to take damage every second. Players should stop taking damage when they leave the area of the toxic shrooms. Toxic shroom areas will be indicated by a particle effect. Toxic shroom areas effect will also be indicated by a point light to help identify the boundaries. As a player, I would like an introductory section added to the level so I can learn the level's specific enemies and obstacles presented in the level. Perfect. So just like the ruins level, just a brief intro. All right. And then this player would like a master section added to the level so I can test the skills I've practiced in the previous section and to provide a greater challenge. This part should present the player having to cross a series of lily pads to stay out of the water containing several alligators, while also avoiding areas containing toxic shrooms. Okay. As a player, I would like objects to limit the ability for me to glide past obstacles to make the level more challenging. Okay. Objects will physically block the player from gliding over all lily pads. Players should not be able to glide past all lily pads in any section. Players should be forced to either walk through the water or jump on lily pads to proceed to the next level. Alright. Let's go back in. So, there we go. Oh. Game's not responding. Whoa. Well, that was strange. Okay, let's continue. It doesn't seem affected much. Let's give myself a little bit more lives. Okay. I see I'm getting quite a few errors. I see they only follow a point where I last stayed. Oof. Whoa. Alright. So lily pads. Okay. And then they reappear. Perfect. Mushrooms. Yep, does damage. Okay, these are the obstacles. I missed. Let me try that one more time. I see I can't be in that area of the water. Whoa. All right. All right. I like these assets. So you could stand on them. All right. Oh no. All right. That completes that level. Moving on to the space. As you can see, our lives do roll over to the next level. Let me just quickly go through options. Music, perfect. Sound effects, perfect. Camera sensitivity. Okay, I can't move the camera. Let me see. Let's try that again. Oh, controls is good. Interesting. The camera sensitivity does not work. Or actually, that's because I'm not moving around. The issue I've had on the other 3 levels, now I'm working on this one. Okay, so let's try sensitivity. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Yeah. Change that back to 0. So it does make the same changes. Perfect. All right. Camera sensitivity. And we'll do main menu. Go back. We'll do space level. All right. All right, before I continue, let's look at the feature list. Okay, for the space level, as a player would like high gravity areas to be clear. I would like to know when I'm entering a high gravity area and also know when I am leaving or have left a high gravity area. The player's ability will be limited as they enter a trigger area. Their abilities will return to normal when they exit the trigger. The player's ability to charge and glide are disabled and will be indicated to the player through text explanation. The player's ability to jump is greatly reduced. Signs or text icons will indicate the entry of a high gravity area. Okay, so there's just going to be signs. Particle effects, animation, sound effects, perfect. Okay. The player would like to have time gates that require me to navigate sections of the level quickly to reinforce mastery of movement abilities like gliding and charging. Gate will open when a button is pressed and remain open for a variable amount of time. Removed. Players will need to return to the button if they do not pass the gate before it closes. Gate will not register subsequent uses until time has expired. Time remaining will be displayed on the player by lights. To the player by lights, sound effects will appear. The player would like areas with low gravity. I would like these areas to provide a noticeable difference in the character's abilities. I would like the areas to be marked and obvious upon entry and exit. Entering a low gravity area would change the player's movement and abilities. Exiting a low gravity area will return the player's movement and abilities to normal. The player's jump height and floatiness as they fall will be greatly increased. The player's charge and walk speed will be reduced. Unable to glide and unable to use the flame attack. Signs or text icons will indicate the entry. Audio volume and pitch is considerably reduced while in low gravity. As a player would like a section within the level where I alternate between high and low gravities to offer a challenge to reach the end of the section. Enter a low gravity area will place the player in a low gravity state. During a high, okay, so on and so forth. Player will not be able to enter high gravity and low gravity section at the same time. The gravity sections would not overlap. Okay, the low gravity sections will be easily indicated upon entry by the audio lowering. The high gravity sections will be marked with signs before entering the section. Okay, and that'll be it. So let me close this. Go back in the game, and let's resume. All right. So, of course, it's gonna need a button that opens the door. Oops. Huh, okay. Ooh. Door just opens by itself. Oh, I missed it. I was trying to charge, but I can't. So let's try this one more time. Ooh, okay. So it is hard to move. You can charge, but you can't do flame breath. You can jump higher now. Huh. Ah, okay. Oh, that's gonna be a little tough. Oh, it's kind of hard to get. There we go. Okay. Ah, I didn't see those before. Ooh. Huh. And then once we enter this area, so it's a gravity lift. Okay, we're out. We're back to our normal. Oh. I don't think I even touched that, but okay. Let's try that one more time. Is the timer still on? I think the timer's still on. Oh. Okay. Let's try that again. Might not be the last time. Okay. I'm getting hit and I'm not even close to them. Ooh. I better add more lives just in case. That's strange. Oh, I missed it. Huh. These guys aren't attacking me. Strange. Whoa. Oh, strange. Oh, darn it. Well, I need to go back anyways. So I gotta do it faster. Ah. Well, that's okay. That was weird. I just fell in the black hole, but nothing happened. Interesting. Wonder what happened. All right, and we're in. Perfect. And that completes that. And then credit screen back, well, back here. All right, and that's Dragon Seeker. Let's make sure space level works. Oh, I did test that out already. Okay. And that's my test. Let's just quickly see that the quick button works. Perfect. All right. Thank you for watching.